Okay, so today I had, like different things, whatever, you're doing things or whatever. And then you start getting all these perspectives, like, I call it insights or whatever. They just like start, everything that you see, they start showing you an expanded way of looking at it and how they link together and stuff like that. So, and it's hard to translate always what you can see like in your head. But, anyways, so I'm just going to kind of, try and make the points. So, like for me, for instance, like there's a lot of people who look at me and immediately they judge me. They, they automatically have trigger responses when they see me. And, the trigger responses are coming from within you. It's not me. You don't even know anything about me. So how could I trigger responses? How could I make you think like I'm a whore or a drug addict or, low self-esteem or, circus show or whatever, that you are the one who is making that perception of me, right? And it's all coming from you. And I have no control over that. It's impossible for me to control how you see me. So, anyways, and, just a side note is I did get all these tattoos, and my whole body looks like this. This isn't just like, this area. It goes all the way down. But I got this stuff, after I got a brain injury. But, I had one huge tattoo on my back. It was been there for, when did I get it? I think it was like around 85 or something. It was like in the LA Times and stuff. It was like so outrageous. Oh my God, this woman, she's got this tattoo. It's the length of her back. It's a big old tattoo on there. And so I just had that one for a long time. And then after I got my brain injury, then and it wasn't like, it definitely has something to do with impulsiveness and, stuff. But to me, it changed so much of my outlook, to get a brain injury. And especially when you're told several times by doctors, that I was lucky to be alive and, that my brain was herniating and, that. So it just gives you, and then your whole life changes, all this stuff like, I was so type A, so like, oh, it's got to be this way, and I'm doing this and I've got to accomplish this. And then when it's all gone, it's like when you lose everything, your identity, everything, you have to reevaluate everything. You have to reevaluate who you are. Who are you? Everything was just taken away. So who are you? So, you have to rebuild yourself. And it gave me a different attitude, about my body, about tattoos, about everything, throughout this transition. And, I see my tattoo. Well, plus I'm an artist. So I, was like, oh, what all this blank skin? I could make it look pretty. So, but it was like reclaiming my own sovereignty over my own body, my own vessel. Like I can do what I want, and I've got a little more time here. So, I'm going to represent myself. And, you can see a weirdo, a freak, whatever you want to see. That's on you. I don't care. I see me. And that's another thing too, is like I was thinking, or when I say I'm thinking, I've already told you. It's what they're showing me. Okay, so I was thinking about the, like for instance, say you have a family and everybody has big noses. And, this is so typical. And the girl gets to be a teenager or even a young adolescent, and she becomes super sensitive. People make fun of her nose because it's different than theirs, because her nose is bigger. And so she becomes insecure and becomes, doubts herself and doesn't feel pretty enough, doesn't feel good enough, because she has this atypical feature on her face that's not, whatever, she's 1 out of 1,000 instead of, 1 out of 100 or something. And, but becomes super sensitive because, you're in this small pool of people. She goes somewhere where there's all people with big noses. She could be worshipped, but she's so focused on her nose, it's holding her back, and she can't let her light shine because she's super focused on her nose. I'm different, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not good enough. And a lot of people are under the knife at this point. I mean, we've got so many people changing their physical appearance, and I'm guilty of it too. I mean, right here. And then plus, when I was super, super young, and I'm sure I talked about this before, is my family had all these double chins. No matter how skinny I was, I always had this double chin. And I was super, super, and I had really, really fat cheeks. All of this, from my bones down, was all cheek in this big thing. And then but I was super skinny. So people would see a picture of me and everybody would meet me and they go, oh my God, did you lose a lot of weight or something? And I'm like, no, I just have a different face from my body. I was like, but I got really sensitive about my double chin. And so I got a liposuction here. And it was when it was very first, it was new on the scene, I think. I don't know. And it was cheap. It was like $500. And but it tears up your skin. Like, I can see the lines, and it detaches it. And when, like, you're in your 20s and the guy says, okay, well, you could have loose skin there later. You're like, well, what the hell? I'll be old. What will I be, like 50 or something? And so you don't really, it doesn't really click that it's going to bother you when you get older. So there's things that we try and fix about ourselves that there's going to be another part that's going to bother you later. Nothing is just, because it has to do with accepting yourself and loving yourself, no matter what your differences are. Own your differences. Be proud of your differences and be proud of your uniqueness. And once you get to that point of having that pride over self, your light will shine. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to notice your fucking nose, because everybody's going to notice that this beautiful person just walked in the room and their light is so bright that they're illuminating. And you get that from self-love. It's love and acceptance. And once we can love and accept ourselves, then we can move on to loving and accepting others. Because, at this point, we're so caught up in the paradigm of the duality. We're comparing ourselves all the time. We're in competition. Well, I got to be better than them. They got to be, what do they have? I got to get better. This one up, one up, one up. Everybody's got to one up the other person. Everybody's got to be the prettiest. And, and they'll pick like one person. Oh, that, or a family. Oh, those people, they got a lot of surgery to look that way. So let's all get the same surgery so we can all look the same. It's like, what the fuck? That is weird. Like, that is not, that is not something like I grew up on. So that is just like, it really has a hard time in my brain to be able to comprehend how people have gotten to that point. Just like that other day where I saw that woman who did a whole video of how she, I don't know, all of her different surgeries that she got so she could look like Angelina Jolie. It's like, not everybody thinks Angelina Jolie is gorgeous, ladies. So, that's nice. You want to pay homage to her beauty by making your face look like hers. Why not just look like yours and be pretty for yourself? But anyways, even when you get back to the nose thing too, if you go in and you change, something in your family and everyone else is born with that same thing that you have, then they have to self-doubt like, oh crap, now I've got it too. And I really think that has to do with all of this stuff, cancer, everything, it's all in here, and it's all in our perceptions, and it's all we're creating that. That's why I said yesterday, like, intention and manifestation can be used as a weapon if you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You just focus on negative, 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 negative. You're creating that. Everything you say, everything I say in every single video, I've just given it life. That's why in the very beginning I said, it doesn't matter if I get a bunch of followers or whatever. The whole point is getting this out on the airwaves. It's getting the energy out there, because the energy will find its way. If I'm not how it's going to go, it doesn't matter. It's going to get itself out there. And, and it's where you focus. And I focus on that energy of love. And, I know why I'm here. I know why, I can see things that other people can't see. And that is to share those things so that other people can see them too, because that's how we move forward. And, oh, maybe the sun's going to come in and, oh, I'm going to shine. Maybe I'm an angel. So anyways, you know, and one of the things is, you know, people think like, oh, I can accept other people and stuff, but they're not. They're all judging one another, you know, just like somebody is way quicker to come up, you know, that would see me, would want to judge me rather than meet me and talk to me. They'd rather talk about the weirdo that they saw. You know, like I could make a lot of money, I think, standing out on Bourbon Street with a camera, because that's what a lot of people do. People do these, like, you know, a lot of them just wear costumes. You know, I'm all in. My costume is imprinted. But they stand out there and let people take pictures of them for, I don't know, $3, $5, whatever. And, you know, probably fucking make rent. You know, that's how people are. Like, look at this fucking weirdo. I'm so normal. It's like, what is normal? You are the one creating what you believe is normal, is what you are buying. When what they're selling, with the corporation, the controllers are selling and you're buying, that's what you decide is normal. There's no set normal, and we're especially seeing that now. That what we consider normal is broken down. It's all been it's all been fake, you know? And so, you know, the more that we can move towards really accepting one another, because it is crazy how these people that, you know, can't accept, you know, their neighbor or whatever, but they think like, oh, if aliens came, I wouldn't be scared, you know. Well, you can't even accept a neighbor, so how could you accept a being that totally looks different than you, is totally coming from a completely different world than you? I mean, people have a hard time accepting that dogs have a soul, you know, or any animal has a soul, you know. And I think that's probably why the people who are so, the spiritual people get so much like, stop killing the animals, stop eating them and stuff, you know. I mean, everybody has their different reasons for that. I mean, it's definitely a paradigm that they've really hit as hard with, because they want to do Soylent Green. I mean, they've worked us towards, you know, I mean, when they have to post on like no GMOs, like what the fuck? We have to be told like, okay, we didn't do any science laboratory work on this food, you know, you can eat it, and bullshit. Anyways, I mean, once you find out all the different ways that they have to get the poisons into you, oh my gosh. Oh yeah, we didn't do this with it, but we used these other chemicals to spray on those before we made this. And then we, you know, they have loophole after loophole after loophole, because they're the ones creating it. They're the ones who were doing it all. We're just all sitting there like the little puppy, like, oh, it is, and you know, that is so much about, you know, what obesity has become, is because, you know, they scheduled the feedings. They've told the people, eat it this time, this time, this time, eat this, this, and this. You know, you don't have to. You don't have to eat all the bullshit and all the stuff that they say to survive. And there is a definite agenda on the food and the control. And, you know, I'm sure they don't want to bother with growing the food. They would like to cut all farmers out. And, you know, Getter Boy getting all the farmland, it's not so that he can go be a farmer and make all the money from us eating. No, he was even talking about, you know, not having cows anymore, just taking a leg or something and growing a cow in a lab, like clone food. I don't know. Clone food in the clown world. I don't know. But, you know, until, you know, people can accept one another and stuff like that, I don't see how they think that they can be willing to accept, you know, aliens coming here and, you know, helping us move forward. That's all this growth is coming. Like, you have to do this growth for yourself, and you have to start with self. And a good place to start is just like, tune into your body. How do you get in touch with your body and, you know, your own health? That is like, it is so fucking much like in the spotlight. It's like right now. And people just, it's like they can't get over the barrier. You know, they're just like, they can't see the other side. It's like, on the other side, it's like, It's on you. Take care of yourself. You know, they're poisoning all the time. This scare that they're trying to, force down us right now. I mean, you can't just say it's a scare because they really are. I mean, they're murdering us. I mean, we're in the pasture. We're waiting for and until we all come together and we all say, hey, no, this isn't the pasture anymore. You guys are out. And we're taking over. We're reclaiming. We're putting our flag down. We're reclaiming the earth as human beings, And but people just don't seem to get how much of this stuff is you, that you have to break down you. And the way you're going to break down you is you're going to, I mean, like I said before, I don't know, 100 times, that the universe is about to hold a big giant mirror up in front of you. Everything that triggers you, you got to look at yourself. And it's going to be so self-defeating. It's going to feel so heavy. But I'm here to say that it is heavy. It is hard to go through, but there's another side. You don't stay there. It is just part of the healing, and it's going to be at different speeds for everybody and different things that people are healing, and we can all help each other, by not judging each other, to be there for each other, I mean, the biggest thing is, but if somebody's judging you, you can rest assured they can judge themselves 10 times more. And that is what I'm saying, that this, before you can move into, how am I going to fix society, you got to fix yourself. And you almost 100% can be guaranteed you're broken. You're coming out of a broken system. And then we've got to make a new system because that system failed, because it was built on corruption and evil and greed and all stuff that's yuck. And we're moving out of that energy. That energy is stagnant. It's gross. And we're moving out of it, and we're raising the vibration. We're moving up, but you have to raise your vibration, make yourself light. Oh, and yesterday I did David Wilcock. I always get confused with Wilcox or Wilcock, but I'm sure it's Wilcock. But at the very beginning of this, he went on a few Sundays and was going live and stuff, and because a lot of this stuff has to do with disclosure. What's going on, because there's so much repressed technology and information, and so much about disclosure, and so significant about aliens and their role in our life currently, So anyways, but he was talking, there was a lot of us that were tuning in. I mean, he was getting like 45,000 people at a time live. It was a huge amount of numbers. And then I think he made some guesses, that's the thing, is everybody wants to think, like, if somebody's guessing, like, well, I think this is going to happen, or I think this is going to happen, from what I'm seeing here. But, if you say the wrong thing, man, they go in for the jugular. And so he kind of pulled back, but lately he's been coming on. There's a lot of movement. I mean, anybody who feels energy knows, like, there's a lot of shit going on. And we're close to, the light switch going on, and everybody having to see. And, I think there's a big significant thing about timing too, because this timing gives people time to heal themselves before the big event. Because, there's still a lot of people saying, that we're still like 3 to 5 years away from that. But who knows? I mean, it could be tomorrow. That's the thing. Nobody knows for sure. We're all just kind of like, guessing and talking to people and trying to see. But anyways, when I was listening to him yesterday, he was talking a lot about that. And I just thought, oh, that's weird that he's coming out and talking about this, because it's like at the same time I've been talking about it. So I'm sure there's other people who know about it, have been talking about it. It's like this energy has come in to get people to look at that again, because it's not like, every day I get up and think about that. I didn't think about it for a long time. I'm too busy thinking about these and all the bullshit and fucking box on the wall that lies nonstop. And so anyways, I just thought, that's kind of weird that he's talking about this too. But so I was listening, And he's just such a wealth of knowledge about, because he's such a good researcher, and he can say stuff back, but he presents a whole slideshow and stuff. But he was talking a lot about Zoroastrianism, I think is how you say it. So that's an interesting thing to look up about, if because it talks about what's going on now. And Edgar Casey, he talked about what was going on now back in the 30s. And there was another thing, but there's a lot of stuff too about the event, you know, a lot of predictions, which I talked about before, and the solar flash and what's going to happen. And so he was talking about the light body thing, only he was talking about not what he was saying. I think he was saying what, because even Plato talked about it. Maybe he was talking about like something Edgar Casey said. I don't know. I think he was quoting something, but they were saying something about the light bodies. But I don't know, it still seems kind of like a metaphor or something. Because and he was saying in these, these predictions and stuff, that the dead will come back. And I had heard that before from, I think it was somebody who, when I said Alison Coe was doing all of those hypnosis of those QHHT things, and she was talking about because there were so many people who kept saying the same stuff. And I swear she said something about that in one of hers, but I know I had heard that before. This wasn't the first time I had heard it, that the dead people were going to be coming back. And so, that's why people don't need to be stressing out right now, if somebody's dying or something, because the dead people, but see, and that shows you again, like, well, does that mean that we're all going to die at the same time? Only death is going to actually be in a new reality, a new planet, because everything is, is our state of consciousness. And, but just as the physical vehicle, our physical form. And he was saying that we're all going to be, like, I'll still be Kelly Hart. And I'll still look the same, only I don't know if I'm going to be like see-through or just light. Like, I don't really get the whole thing about the vehicle, but something when this solar flash, but some of the stuff that he was saying, it sounded like the same as what I was being shown. I mean, I said the words kind of different, but what I was seeing in my head about that we're all kind of like up in the air or something. And it's kind of like, I've seen it in movies, when there's like this magnetic change, and all of a sudden it's like you can see the magnetic energy, and then all of these, like, as if, what is that they say that holds us to the ground so we don't fall off the earth? That guy who invented or found it, gravity. So, like, gravity suddenly just like let go, and we're all just like held in this, this like grainy thing, and this molecular transformation happens, and a reorganization or something. I don't know, because that's the thing, is when you always know something after it happens. Then you can look at your your visions or the words or however you're shown things. Then you can see it, and then you can say, oh, that's what that meant. Oh, that's what that meant. So, we can just share like how we're seeing it or whatever. But anyways, there's more people talking about it. So I believe it is coming, and I believe that we really do need to get the message out there, how important it is to focus on your personal soul growth and your personal soul healing, and stop looking at others to fix you. Stop looking at others to make you feel better. Stop thinking if this person is better, you'll be better. You have to be better because you have to make yourself better. And the only way you can make yourself better is be willing to see the dark sides of yourself, to see and accept your whole self. And then in that transformation, you start understanding, hey, I'm just here to learn. I'm just here to experience. I'm just here to understand. So yeah, why would I sit here and judge myself? Yeah, I did that shitty thing one time, but did I continue doing that shitty thing? And if you did continue to do that shitty thing, still don't get caught up in like, oh, I'm just a shitty person. I did this shitty thing every single fucking time I got the chance. every day you get a new day for redemption. Every day you get a new day to be a new you. So don't get caught up in like who you've been, that's what you're stuck being. And you can always, you've got a certain energy pool you're pulling from when you're stuck in a certain persona, I guess. You can always transfer and start pulling from other energy, because there's a lot of energies out there, and there's a lot of energies that are there for your best growth. And don't ever think like you're alone. Like, it will feel super alone and you'll feel super lonely, but start talking to the beings that are around you. Just start talking to them. You'll start hearing like noises in your house. Things will drop. They'll start communicating back to you. And you might get scared at first, like, whoa, I didn't know that would happen. I didn't know this was real. And it's real. It's real. And they get really excited when you acknowledge them and you want to converse and you want to, because all they're there for is for your betterment. They're there to help you, direct you. And, that's why if you're going the wrong path, they'll put roadblock. You keep smashing into one roadblock after another. It's because they're putting you up, because they're guiding you. They're corralling you to your best life, to the life that you chose before you came in here. The things that you were predestined to do and have and be before you came in. They're up there trying to be like, wait, don't go that way. You're supposed to go that way. This is going to happen. This is what you want. But you have to be tuned in. You have to be, be in the flow, be in the knowing that they are there for you and they're there with you. Because then once you get that going, once you are focused on your healing and your spiritual growth, and then you're focusing on your vessel and your avatar is important. And that's why, I've said like taking a bath, like got us out of taking baths and told us take a shower, be in a hurry, go, fucking put a clock and a TV in every room. That's what you need. Go. We need money. Go buy something. And go make some more money so you can buy more shit. And get caught up in your ego. Cheat on your wife. There's just so many things that people are just so caught up in that they don't even know who they are. And but, taking a bath, to me, I put the Epsom salts, and I feel it helps pull the toxins, because we're being poisoned every day. So I feel it helps pull the toxins. It's very meditative, and water is very communicative with the other side. So you can go and have great meditations, lower the lights, do some candles, put some nice music on, and relax. That is very, very self-healing. And it is about meditation. It's about getting in tune with yourself and your feeding, your food, your diet. Don't get caught up in these these agendas they keep wanting to sell you, the diet culture, the I don't know what they're trying to sell with the obesity. They just want us so fucking sick, and people are so willing to step into the role. But all of the things, those are all just part of like the same segregations, just to put us in these different things, to keep us all arguing about the bullshit. Really, all you got to do, tune into your body. If you get up in the morning and you're not hungry, don't fucking eat. Just because it's breakfast time, the world will not end because you broke a fucking rule. And then if you're not hungry, sit down, tune into yourself. Think about like, what am I hungry for? Like, what am I feeling? Because your body will tell you what it needs. It's like super capable like that. It will say, hey, I could really use some protein. God, scrambled eggs sound good. I could really use maybe put a little cheese on there. I could use a little of that, and it will start telling you what it wants to eat. You gotta listen. And then, get into that, exercise too. And what I have found, especially during, jail, that, you don't have to go out. Like I was going out and riding my bike and stuff all the time. And then when I started doing when lockdown happened, and I started doing all this stuff around my house, and I had to start like building strength. Like I'm picking up giant rocks, I'm picking up boards, I'm hammering, I'm all sorts of shit, that I've never did before. And, I was like going to town, but I started getting muscles, and I started feeling strong. And, so what I have found is, you don't have to have very heavy weights. You can have some small weights, and you can do yoga in your living room. You can dance in your living room. You can do some little mini workouts. You only need like 15 minutes of exercise a day to keep yourself in shape. It's not like you have to, the gym is a very ego driven thing, they get all into, and you can do that when you start like feeling like, oh my God, I'm getting muscles, I'm get into it, if that's what you want to do, get into it. But just be careful all the time, no matter what you do, is to not get into the ego of it. Everything has got, you can go into this or this or this, and it's all got an ego driven part that you can get caught up in. And then you're going to go right into not feeling good enough, not feeling enough, having to work harder, so that's one thing through the communication and stuff. When you start really trying to understand who's communicating and stuff like that, and really try and translate your own thoughts, then you can get a handle on your ego, because your ego is a bitch. And they're not always there for you. They're manipulative. They're gaslighting you. That's what they're doing. The fucking ego, the gaslighter of the body. So yeah, you have to, just get your ego under control. Don't let it run you. Don't let it run your life, because it would like to, but then you're putting so much of yourself aside, so much experience and so much opportunities aside, because your ego is a little bitch and tells you don't do that, or get too caught up in this, or you got to be better at that, or whatever. Because that's not the messages that you'll get from the universe. That to me, definitely, that's coming is inside. Because the messages from the universe are way more of like, they tell me things all the time. They show me things. They'll show me something, that I'll need in an hour. They'll show me, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, thanks. I forgot you showed me that a little while ago. They're constantly showing me stuff. They're giving me insights. They're always talking me up. They're always telling me good things, positive things. They don't beat me down. And if you've got guides that are beating you down, then you've got yourself in a bad energy. If you've got guides that are telling you like, spit at that person, kick that person, be mean to that person, kick your dog, those guides are not there for you. They're there to feed off of you, because they feed off of that kind of energy, so you're being used. So you probably feel like shit. You probably don't feel good about yourself because you're being used, because that's not what guides do. They don't sit there and tell you to do shitty things to people, because don't forget, if you're outside of your body or you're up in the other realms, you've got a higher state of consciousness. You look at things much differently than how we do. And we're just learning how to look at things differently. And in this incarnation. So then, but they're already there. And yeah, if they step down and they came into a body, they'd have to go backwards, and they'd have to, the veil has to go back over on this planet. From what I understand, there's multiple planets out there that there is no veil. You know exactly who you are. You can remember all your past lives. You know exactly who the people are you're with. You're on a completely different spiritual plane than what we are. We're on one that's teaching us so many things, and you can't know about the things because then you won't get your lessons. So you have to experience them. You learn through experience, and that is what we're doing. And that's why we shouldn't judge each other or judge ourselves. If you've been a shitty person before, even if this is the first time it just clicked, like, fuck, I've been a shitty person. I gotta change my shit, man. I don't want to be a shitty person. Then, celebrate that day. Celebrate. The light just came on. Now you get to take it on. Now you get to say, hey, how do I, create this other person? How do I become what I look up to be, Find a role model. You know, design yourself like, to me, don't design yourself after another person, but to me, like, there's templates, like, discover yourself, discover what you're good at, discover, your own creativity. Do nice things for people, feel what it feels like to feel, go help an old person around their house, and, feel what that feels like, the sense of accomplishment and connection and giving, and be willing to receive, because there's a lot of people who also need to give back, who need you to be able to receive so that they can feel good too. So anyways, much blessings to you today. I will stop talking because sometimes I just go, 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 go. But anyways, much blessings to you, and focus on your healing, because that is what's going to move us all forward as a collective, is each person focusing on self acceptance, healing, love, connection, all of it. So work on you. I'll talk to you later. Bye.